Hey everybody,
Hi guys,
I'm Eric.
I'm Melissa.
We are Tilted K Homestead,
Welcome to our channel.
and we have some new recent subscribers, and we'd like to thank you all for hitting subscribe. And if you're not subscribed, please hit that little subscribe button.
Yes, and a big welcome to all our new subscribers too.
That's right. So, for those of you who don't know what we're all about, we bought 5 acres in the Ozark Mountains of Arkansas in 2020.
Yep.
And we have made several periodic trips down to basically get everything ready for us to go. And we recently just got back from our last trip down to prepare everything. We've been back about 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And we thought we would sit down and go over that trip and the errors that were made and the things that went well for us and how it all went. Ready to get into it?
Sure.
All right. Okay, so there's no way to start this without describing for you guys what went wrong. And that went wrong very fast the very first day. We were about 240 miles from here in northeast Connecticut, Massachusetts line, and we had a breakdown on our trailer. We were bringing a good chunk of our belongings down to put in storage. So we had an axle break on the side of the highway on a Saturday.
On the trailer, not on the truck.
On the trailer, not on the truck. On the side of the highway in New York State, upstate New York, at about 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it was very early.
It was very early. So we were able to get towed off the highway and towed to a garage that actually agreed to fix it for us if we could get the parts. It was about 25 miles away. We were able to go to a trailer dealership and get a new axle, new leaf springs, U-bolts, everything brand new, bring it back and get it installed. But we didn't leave there with the trailer until 4:30 in the afternoon.
It was later.
It was much later. So I drove to about 2 o'clock that morning, 2:30, and then we got up.
To finally get to where we needed to be.
Yeah, and we didn't make it all the way where we wanted to be, but we got quite a ways. We got up 6 hours later at 8 o'clock in the morning, and at 9:30 we arrived at Miss Judy's cabin on Sunday, the day we were hoping to be there. So we had made up for lost time.
Yeah, for those of you who are new, we'll put another link up there so we can show you Miss Judy's cabin that we stay at. It's really nice.
It's really nice. So that's the bad news. Now, things started getting much better after that. The next day, it was a Monday, we jumped in the truck in the morning and went over to the storage unit that we had already purchased, got the trailer all unloaded, and then we headed out to our land where Missy dropped me off so I could start getting things set up for us to be there for 2 weeks, and she went and did grocery shopping. Then she came back and picked me up, and that was pretty much it for the day. We did get our foundation grids with string all laid out that day, so it was a pretty productive day. The next morning I had to get up bright and early. I had to head up towards Missouri, up to West Plains, to Hirschfeed.
To get our auger.
To get our auger so that we could start drilling for the Sauna tube foundation that we are going to put in. So we got that. I came back, picked Missy up, and we headed for the land. And we drilled 16 holes, a minimum of 18 to 2 feet deep, 18 inches to 2 feet deep, and set our sauna tubes. Just set them in there.
Yeah.
They weren't leveled or anything
No,
like
we
that.
just got the holes dug so
Got
that
the
we
holes
knew
dug.
we could fit the sauna tubes in.
That's right.
That's it.
And got the sauna tubes so that we knew that they would sit down in there and they would be okay. We could make adjustments from there. So the next day, I shot back up to Missouri, dropped off the auger. Everything was fine with the auger, and I picked up a Ditch Witch trencher
Yep, to do the water lines.
to do the water lines and
Mhm.
put all our water lines in and our frost freeze in and get all of that taken care of. And we got it back to the property and we started getting some work done. And it worked for...
It worked really well.
It worked well for like, I don't know, maybe 5 hours. It was about 5 hours.
Maybe.
It wasn't super long. And then the left track lost power. And I happened to look down and saw hydraulic fluid. Well, that's the end of that. And we were only about 3/4 of the way done with the trenches.
Yeah, we still had the rest of the day.
So I got them on the phone. There was nothing they could do with it down on the land. I threw it back on the trailer, ran it back up to Missouri. They took a look at it, weren't sure what it was going to be. So we made arrangements for me to leave it with them and pick it up on Friday. This is now Wednesday. So we were going to have Thursday without it and then pick it up on Friday. So I left there. And literally 5 minutes, 10 minutes after I left, they called me up and said, look, we started getting it apart. There's a set screw in the block where the hydraulics goes through. That set screw is loose. We got it tightened down. The machine's working fine. Do you want to come back and get it? You can have it tomorrow. No extra charge. And you can get your stuff done. And, of course, I turned right around, went back, hooked up, got it.
I mean, they were very accommodating.
They were super accommodating. Those guys are really great over there. They took good care of us. Breakdowns happen, especially with rental equipment.
Yeah.
So by the time I got back to the land, well, it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So we broke away from there. We knew I had the machine for the rest of the day tomorrow. And in fact, I knew I only had like 2-3 hours worth of work.
Yeah.
So we went back to Miss Judy's cabin, got up bright and early the next morning, and I think that's when the 95 plus heat really started rolling in.
Yeah, it got really hot
It got
by the end of the first week.
Yeah.
And then just stayed hot.
And it just it was oppressive to say the least.
Yeah.
But we got the machine over there. I got all my ditching done. And I ran it back to Missouri so that they would have it. They could get it cleaned up for the next customer because they had to tell a guy he was going to take it on Thursday evening for Friday that he couldn't have it. Now he would be able to have it. So later that afternoon, we worked on getting our sauna tubes leveled up and cut down to the right size.
Yep.
And got all of our rebar pounded in. So that the cement truck could come. We were able to get him to come first thing Friday morning. So we wanted to make sure that everything was ready for him when he showed up.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, Friday came along, 8 o'clock in the morning?
Oh yeah, he was there really early.
He was there bright and early.
Just like he said.
Just like he said. We got all the cement in. And everything was shored up. Missy actually did all the float work on the top of the sauna tube, and it came out fantastic. She did a really, really good job. It's nice and smooth. It's not jagged. There's no lines in it. It looks like the bottom of a pool. It's so smooth. So that led us into the 4th of July weekend. We knew we weren't going to be able to get any services or anything like that. So we just hunkered down and got some work done on the land. What did we do? You did...
We put in our water lines.
We got all our water lines in, and we got our frost freeze in.
Yep.
But nothing was really covered because we had to have the water guy come and inspect
we
it.
had to wait to
But
cover.
it was all laid out. It was in. It was a considerable amount of work in the heat that we were dealing with.
Yeah.
But we rolled our sleeves up and we got it done side by side, and it worked out really, really fine.
Yep.
Miss Judy, who is a wonderful woman, was kind enough to let us use her Kubota tractor.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mid-sized tractor with a bucket on the front.
It was nice.
And I actually got to use that for 3 days.
Yes.
So we were able to move.
And again, thank you, Miss Judy.
Yes, thank you, Miss Judy.
Because that made it so much easier to get all that work done.
It did. And we were able to move some rock around.
Mm-hmm.
We had a delivery of 1-inch rock brought where our camper is going to sit when we go down in 7 months from the time this video is put out.
Yeah.
And we moved that around. We dug out a driveway.
We did.
What else did I do? I cleaned up some of the land around where
leveled out where our septic
was, because when they dug our leach fields and where they put the septic in, they didn't they threw dirt back on it, but they didn't level it out. They didn't do any beautification of it at all, so I had to kind of go in there and clean it up a little bit. And we couldn't have done that without Miss Judy's tractor.
That was a lot of work.
That was a lot of work. It was a lot of work on the tractor. If we were doing that by hand with shovels and wheelbarrows,
still be in there.
oh my God, I can't even imagine. Yeah. So thank you again, Miss Judy. Come Tuesday, our water guy came, fully inspected our lines, and they were taken care of. And we got those all covered up with the Kubota as well. And got the frost freeze covered up on Wednesday.
Yeah, we finished up with all of that.
Finished off all the water work. And then Wednesday, the people from the power company came, and he marked out where our telephone poles were going to go. So we took care of that.
Yeah.
And
we actually found out recently from our neighbor.
That's right. Our neighbor Christoph across the street, he's a homesteader as well. He called me up, or he sent me a text just the other day.
Yeah, we left our number so that he said he wouldn't mind watching our property while we were gone. So.
That's right. And he sent me a text that our telephone poles are installed.
Yes.
Which means our power is installed.
We have electricity now.
So now we have water, septic, power, and fiber optic internet, which I had no idea. I called the cable company down there.
Which is super nice.
Which, and they said, oh, no, it's not fiber optic. We just have regular. But when the power guy was there, I said, well, isn't that bottom line cable? He said, no, that's fiber optic. That's our line. He says, and it's half the price of the cable company. I'm not going to mention their name.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, string that up too. Because for our channel, I need good internet.
Yes.
So very excited. All of our infrastructure
is
in. And most of our physical labor on the property done at that point.
Yeah.
It left a lot of running around that we needed to do, because we both are not going to be down there again until we move down there.
Yeah.
I'm going down there in a month and a half with the rest of all of our belongings, drop that off at a storage unit, drop our trailer off at the land, because when we move down, I need to hook our camper up to the truck to pull that down so we have a place to live. So we did some running around. We did what? We went to the bank. We opened a bank account.
Yep.
We went to the Amish.
Yeah, we did. We went to the Amish. They have a little market out there. We got honey
Yep.
And what else did we get?
We-
Oh, we ended up getting a nice planter from Miss Judy as a nice thank you gift.
That's right. It was a very nice planter, and we
Mhm.
couldn't say no. And
I know, the only thing I was bummed out about, I just realized as we were like doing this, we didn't get a picture of it.
it was a very nice planter. Take our
Yeah.
word for it. We looked into getting a street address
Yes.
for our property. So our property, being raw land with no infrastructure on it, was nothing more than a surveyor's lot
Yeah,
number.
I just had a lot number.
Like, I had no street address that I could give anyone, and we kind of needed a street address. And
But their rule down there is you don't get a street address until you put your foundation in.
correct. So once our foundation was in, that was how
Mhm.
we were going to be able to now get a street address.
Yes.
Now, I would have thought you would have went to the post office, the county seat, the judge, the courthouse, something along those lines. You know, even the county assessor's office to get your house number. It turns out you go to the sheriff's office, which is perfectly fine. It just seemed like, why would the sheriff assign street addresses? It didn't seem to make sense to me, but look, as long as we got a street number, I was fine with it. And I went down to the county sheriff's office, went inside, really nice people there, really nice guy. He said, I'll jump in my car right now, I'll go down there. He says, can you see the foundation from the road? I said, yep, you can if your eyes are good. And he said, okay. 45 minutes later, he called us up.
Yep.
We have a street address. We are on the map.
We are.
So that is the last piece of the puddle. The last piece of the puddle. It might be the last piece of the puzzle for us to move down to Arkansas and start our new lives as homesteaders. That's where we're at. We're going to be pulling this camper out of here at the end of August. This is our last summer here at the seasonal.
Actually,
It's our last summer in New England.
It'll be more like the end of. Oh no. Yeah, it is.
Labor Day weekend probably we'll pull this out. And we'll bring it to our cabin in Connecticut, and we'll let it sit there until we actually make the move to go down.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's it for our campsite porch chat.
All right.
And a wrap up
More
of
like a deck chat.
that's right, it's a deck chat. And we will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for watching.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.